Custer died in battle, and what happened next was truly horrifying. The Native Americans, Sitting Bull's people, had suffered terrible cruelty from the Americans for years. Now they wanted payback. What they did to the bodies was so disturbing that the army hid many details from the public. Bodies were damaged, soldiers were hurt beyond recognition, and Custer himself was treated so badly that the army lied to his wife about it. The winning Lakota and Cheyenne warriors took whatever they could from the dead soldiers: guns, jewelry, clothes, horses. One warrior named Brave Bear remembered people saying things like, "I got tobacco," and "I got a good gun." Almost all the dead soldiers were stripped naked and left in the sun. The warriors also took scalps as war trophies. Native American women from the camp came and damaged the bodies too. 2 Cheyenne women claimed they put awls, sharp tools, in Custer's ears. Years later, people learned that someone had shoved an arrow into a private area of Custer's body, a detail the army kept secret to protect his widow's feelings. One warrior, Iron Hawk, remembered seeing 2 old women attacking what they thought was a dead soldier. The men suddenly jumped up and tried to fight them off while naked. He was quickly killed. Iron Hawk thought it looked funny, though Sitting Bull reportedly didn't approve of any of this. Most of Custer's cavalry unit was still alive under 2 other officers, Reno and Benteen, who had dug in on a hill. Native warriors attacked them all through the night and the next day, only stopping when they spotted more American soldiers coming. When reinforcements arrived under Generals Terry and Gibbon, they started finding bloody American uniforms in abandoned camps. Then a scout reported finding 197 dead white soldiers in the hills. When they found Benteen and Reno's survivors, those men didn't even know Custer was dead, they thought he'd just left them behind. Benteen was sent to find Custer. What they found was terrible. Naked bodies had been rotting in the hot Montana sun for 2 days. They found bodies in defensive positions on one hill. On another hill called Last Stand Hill, Private Adams found Custer's body. He was sitting up against 2 other dead soldiers, looking almost peaceful. Unlike most others, he hadn't been scalped, though his brother Tom had been. Lieutenant Bradley told newspapers the bodies weren't badly damaged, but he was lying to spare families' feelings. One soldier, Private Wendolf, later admitted they were badly mutilated. Some of them too bad to tell about. Most bodies had been scalped, shot full of arrows, or smashed with axes. One black scout named Isaiah Dorman was severely damaged, with a kettle of his own blood left next to him as an insult. Custer had a bullet wound in his chest, another in his temple, and a knife wound in his leg. Soldiers kept the arrow detail secret. His brother Tom was damaged so badly they could only identify him by a tattoo on his arm. Among all the death, they found one living creature on the hill, a 14-year-old horse named Comanche. He had 7 different wounds but had stayed by his dead owner's side. The soldiers rescued him, and he became the cavalry's mascot until he died in 1891. On June 28, they quickly buried about 206 to 208 bodies. They were in a hurry, worried that more Native Americans might attack. Most were buried in shallow mass graves. Custer and his brother Tom were wrapped in canvas and buried together in a grave only 2 feet deep, covered with stones to keep animals away. The survivors struggled with what they'd seen. Major Reno started drinking heavily. He bought 11 gallons of whiskey in 22 days. Captain Benteen also drank to cope and got into a drunken fight with another captain who blamed him for abandoning Custer. That captain, Weir, was found dead in his hotel room 6 months later. A steamboat raced 710 miles in less than 3 days to bring the terrible news to Fort Abraham Lincoln. On July 6, officers woke up Custer's wife Libby at dawn. She and her sister-in-law were devastated. Libby and George had been sweethearts since they were teenagers and deeply in love. Despite her grief, Libby insisted on helping tell the other 26 women at the fort that they were now widows. Libby spent the rest of her long life, she died in 1933, defending her husband's reputation and blaming others for the disaster. The news reached Washington the next day, July 7, just 3 days after America's 100th birthday celebration. The shocking defeat dominated newspapers for days. Everyone looked for someone to blame, Custer's recklessness, or the failures of Reno and Benteen. The nation mourned one of their worst military defeats ever.